based AI-powered antivirus app that was designed to evolve with today's threats. It's fast, lightweight protection that works across all my devices without slowing me down. If you need another reason to switch, get this. WebRoot Essentials recently ranked #1 in independent Passmark performance studies against 9 other brands like Norton, McAfee, and even Microsoft Defender. The study found that WebRoot Essentials scans 6 times faster, uses far less memory, and takes up 33% less space on your computer. I've seen the difference WebRoot has made for my devices, and now you can too. My listeners get 62% off WebRoot Essentials at webroot.com/Kim. Get the #1 ranked antivirus protection for just $19 a year right now at webroot.com/Kim. Webroot.com/Kim. Go now while you're thinking about it. Webroot.com/Kim.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Talkback. We're launching cold. We'll just do it live, as they say. We came out of the Kim Commando Tech.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, that's what happens when you do it live. Good morning, everybody. Nathan Martin, Stephen Maxwell in on this terrific Thursday. And we're glad to be with you on Talkback. We got a brand new monitor over here. It's gorgeous. It's big and colorful. And
do we?
Yeah, all the colors are bright and
I didn't notice
vibrant.
that.
Yeah. It's Dave Gratian doing a tremendous job of getting things worked out around here, changing some things on the board for us to hopefully make things flow a little smoother. Did have that little glitch right there. We'll figure that one out. But glad to be in the studio with you this morning. And Stephen, how are you doing today?
Well, I just shocked you with my baldness.
Yeah, you've been wearing a hat for so long, I forgot that you were bald by choice.
Well, we should all do it once in our life.
My wife agrees with you. She wants me to do that.
Just do it. You got a nice flow of hair there. You're fine.
Yeah, that's what I see. That's what I keep saying.
Just
But
do it once.
she keeps saying, well, I've done it. I did it about 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. We, in my family for years on 4th of July, we would all gather at mom and dad's house and have fun, just enjoying each other's company and picnicking, and then maybe do some fireworks in the evening. And it then developed into this costume competition. Now, this is like 20, 25 years ago. And my sister and her kids, they would come and everybody be wearing red, white, and blue. And it'd just be a fun thing, have tassels or whatever. And one year I decided, I'm going to win the contest. So I literally shaved my head, and I had my wife draw fireworks and an American flag on top of my bald head.
Nice.
I won.
You shaved your head there.
I did. I shaved it. And then I kept it shaved for about a month or two, but it was too much work to shave it every day. It was just, it took longer to shave the head than it did the shampoo and comb it and get going. So.
Oh, you got to get one of those, they call them skull shavers. I don't know if they had them back then. They're like handheld.
Electric
shaver.
device?
Yeah, and I did have pretty good. Yeah.
I did have a special dome chrome razor that was made to go with your hands, to shave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that might make it easier. Back then, though, I did have quite a bit more hair, so it may not take me quite as long nowadays to get it done. Nevertheless,
a lot of work.
Any chrome domes out there, and call us in and let us know the routine that you have. Glad to have you on the show. Are with us this morning in the show. We've got coming up at 8 o'clock, Colonel Mark Guillory with Save My Louisiana. He's going to talk about a meeting taking place tonight at the Pineville Hotel and Convention Center, formerly known as Country Inn and Suites, but the Pineville Convention Center will be the location for the Save My Louisiana carbon capture and sequestration conversation. And Save My Louisiana has been holding these for quite some time. I think this is in response to the meeting that was held, was it Monday night at the Main Street Community Center? The DEQ held that meeting, and that was a standard. DEQ holds meetings like this all the time. They go through their standard process of notifications. Most times they just slip off the radar. People don't pay attention to what DEQ is doing, but they were doing, I think it was like an air quality meeting about the Beaver Lake Renewable Plant. And so folks, when people did hear about it, they showed up, and I didn't go, but we had a finance committee meeting that night for the city of Pineville, and I heard later that quite a few local folks had gone and expressed their opposition to CSS. And I wish we could have another acronym, because you have CCS, carbon capture and carbon sequestration. So we need to talk about CC and CS. CCS is the combination of both technologies. And I think most people are upset about the CS part, the carbon sequestration part. And that's where I saw some videos from that evening. Folks were expressing their thoughts about it. And folks from Save My Louisiana felt like they did not have enough representation or enough notice to get people out. So they're hosting a meeting this evening. That is the hotel that is located kind of across, let's see, it's actually right next door to Word of Grace Church, the church with all the flags. So that's the hotel right next door to that church. And that will be coming up this evening.
It's not the Country Inn and Suites.
It is formerly known as Country Inn and Suites. Yeah,
okay.
They no longer have that brand, that flag, as they say. And I think they're waiting on a new flag, a new brand. So right now they're just the Pineville Hotel and Convention Center. And so folks can check that out. I saw a video this morning from the Save My Louisiana group. It may have been Boo Maddox on there. I'm not positive. Kind of looked like him. I don't know him super well, but I know that whoever this was kind of explaining why they were doing that meeting tonight. And folks are certainly invited to come out. They've been advertising it quite a bit. I'm trying to see, is it 6 o'clock? I think it's at 6 o'clock. Let me double check here. I've got the little flyer popping up. Well, tell you what, let me just do this
sometime today.
Yeah. Let's see if this will work.
About we have a real public meeting about sun gas, data centers, and carbon capture. But this time you're invited. And this time the public will be heard. Save My Louisiana has decided to hold a public meeting. That way you can come and you can speak and your voices can be heard. We're asking you to join us next Thursday, June the 11th at 6 p.m. Pineville Hotel and Conference Center at 2727 Monroe Highway in Pineville, Louisiana.
Oh, there you go. That's at 6 o'clock tonight, Pineville Hotel and Convention Center. So, and we'll be hearing more in the 8 o'clock hour. Colonel Mark Guillory will be speaking. I'm not sure. I don't know him. You met him, or you talked on the phone? Yeah. Is he like a colonel with the National Guard, or is he retired?
I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll find all that
He's a
out.
pilot right now.
Oh, cool. Yep. All right. So we'll have him come in and share his thoughts about tonight's meeting invitation. We may have a phone call coming up here in a little bit from one of our police jurors. We are told maybe giving us a call. But we always welcome your phone calls on the BOM talk line, 318-442-8255. So give us a call and join the conversation. By the way, are you interested in the FIFA World Cup?
My wife is. I've always enjoyed it. I don't really like soccer too much because I'm American, and we just never got into it. But I appreciate the World Cup. I always root for America. I think it'd be hilarious if we ever won because no one would care. But no, she really likes it. I got her this FIFA World Cup. I think it's Panini that makes it, not the sandwich, but it's like a sticker book. It's like sports cards, but a sticker book, and she's collecting all of them. And all of her friends back home or who are from back home in Venezuela, they really get into those sticker books. And if you find like the one so they have these cards and they have like colored borders for some of the players. If you have the black one, that's the only one in existence.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So so they're all into that, and it's a whole thing. So we did that. She's having fun.
Well, 48 teams from around the world have qualified. They'll be playing in a series of contests in 16 different cities, if I recall right, in Canada, United States, and Mexico. The first game is today in Mexico, and then tomorrow Canada and United States will host their games, and every team will play 3 matches. They're put into 12 groups. Each group has 4 teams, and so they play one against every opponent in their group. They get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 points for a loss, and then the top 2 teams from each group automatically advanced, joined by the 8 best third place finishers. So that'll go from 48 down to 32. That begins the knockout rounds, and that becomes single elimination bracket. So it's really for those who love soccer or football, as it's called in most countries in the world. Because it only happens every 4 years. This is the Olympics of soccer, and I have so many friends in Latin America that are absolutely fascinated by it, and you can't help but be drawn in a little bit. A little bit of controversy. People were upset that the prices to attend the events in the United States are in the $300 to $500 range for tickets, and people coming from other countries are like, "No, come on now." But the president of FIFA made a statement, I think it was yesterday, that the reason they did that was on par with all major sporting events in the United States. So if you go to championship sports, I don't want to say every game, but championship sports, you're going to pay hundreds of dollars for tickets. And he said if they had lowered the tickets to $50 or $100, they would have been gobbled up by those ticket scalpers. And then so FIFA wouldn't have benefited. The people would have still paid the super high prices, and it would have been a loss for the players. So they went ahead and made the prices higher, but they did make a concession, and they gave, I forget how many, 50,000 or 100,000 tickets to each country at like $50 a piece. So they get, like, the members of their soccer clubs could buy tickets at a reasonable price. I don't know that I don't plan to go to any games, but definitely will watch a few of them. I'm a big fan of the United States. I, of course, big fan of Mexico's team. And we're going to be in Colombia next week. So when Colombia plays, we'll be watching their games. And when we adopted our kids 13 years ago, one of our hosts down there actually gave our children Colombia Soccer Federation jerseys. And so one of our tasks on this trip is to buy jerseys that fit, because the jerseys from 13 years ago don't fit. So I don't know how many people around here are excited. I think there are quite a few that are beginning to. There's a really neat soccer camp going on over Johnny Downs Sports Complex right now, and a young man in our church qualified to be a part of that camp, even though he's like a year younger than the age cutoff. He's such a good player that they invited him to go. And my wife and I have picked him up in the afternoons after the camp. His mother and father still at work. And most of the coaches there are from like Scotland and Ireland. You know, they're all talking with the accents. And
Wow.
it was really neat to hear that fascination. And so don't know how many other folks will be watching, but I'm glad to know you and your wife will be following along with the festivities.
She will for sure, and when it gets kind of to the end there, I'll definitely give it a watch. I usually watch it when it comes every 4 years, some way or another. But yeah, it's fun.
Well, the hype builds up too as you get closer, and today being the actual kickoff day, folks are excited about that for sure. So, as we anticipate moving into the future, I'm really curious about how the rollout for the inspection sticker is going to take place. And I think I heard you guys say the other day, was there something basically said that if it expires between now and the end of the year, you don't have to get it renewed?
Yeah, they're just going to let it go. That's what I guess the governor said.
Yeah. So
I'm going to roll with it.
You're going to risk it for us.
I'm going to take my chances.
You'll let us know.
Mine expires this month. But yeah, if yours is about to expire, just give it a second. Wait till the law comes to an effect, and you'll be fine, they say.
Well, here's a note in the Rapides Parish Journal, has a story about it today. And it says the law also creates a transition period beginning June 30th to 2026. So from June 30th to January 1, law enforcement officers may not issue citations solely for failing to display or produce a certificate of inspection. And as a result, the Louisiana State Police announced it has immediately stopped enforcing inspection sticker violations. Now, I'm assuming that if they stop you for something else, they could tack that on, but that can't be the main reason they stop you. And drivers are still going to be responsible for making sure their vehicles are safe and maintained, having working lights, brakes, tires, all that other good stuff. But starting June 30th, which is coming right around the corner, no longer can officers give you a citation just for missing an inspection sticker. Well, good deal. So y'all going to make a little money. And those of us who paid $20 earlier in the year for a 2-year sticker, we're just out of luck. No refunds.
Well, we've been waiting for some time for this to happen, so it's a great time to be alive, like no other. We got rid of the inspection stickers.
It took a while for that representative to get that passed. It took him like 3 tries, I think. He finally got the governor behind him, and there you go. So, made a trip yesterday over to Texas. Associate minister in our church and I went over to do a funeral for a former member who had moved to Texas, but asked me years ago if I would do his funeral when he passed. And he passed away last Friday. The funeral was yesterday, so left early morning. I listened to you guys all the way. Tuned in on the app. Actually, the app failed on me yesterday morning. Not sure why.
Sometimes it does that.
So I had to go over to Facebook, and thankfully you had that up and running. So I had it piped into my Bluetooth, through my Bluetooth connection to the car, and listened to y'all. I didn't watch you. Sorry, I was driving. But
oh, that's okay.
Good show yesterday, as always. And,
I don't remember what we talked about, but I'm sure it was good. Probably mostly Al talking, but and our guest talking.
Well, we didn't talk about what he would have talked about today, and that's the Knicks with the biggest comeback in the history of the NBA playoffs, coming back from a huge deficit to win 107 to 106. That was a huge, huge comeback, and everybody was excited. So, unfortunately, they did lose the night that their number one fan, Donald J. Trump, was in attendance. Most folks were pretty happy that the security was less strict yesterday for them to get in.
Yeah, I think Taylor Swift was there yesterday, so that was that's what I'm seeing on my feed the whole time. I don't know why that's important, but people were talking about it. Yeah, I think everyone's like a Knicks fan now, apparently. I don't know. Everyone wants to see them. It's been a bajillion years since they've won one, and I think they've had the highest ratings for the NBA Finals since Michael Jordan.
Isn't that something?
So, I mean, that's good for the sport, I guess, because it seems to be less and less mainstream over the years, but we've been hearing about it this year for sure. You know, it's good when the Knicks are winning for the NBA. It's bad when, like, the Thunder win because the market is just so small, so obscure.
Yeah, right.
You know, it might be cool for parody, but people just don't really care. So, yeah, Knicks. I used to hate the Spurs, too.
Did you?
Because when I was a kid, everyone liked LeBron James.
Well, didn't Andrew... what was the big tall guy that went to the Navy? Wasn't he with the Spurs? Robertson?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. We got to take our break. Bottom of the hour. We'll come back with more conversation and your phone calls on the BOM Talk Line, 318-442-8255. Give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind.
KSYL.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Wall Street rattled yesterday by a sell-off in some of the world's largest tech companies. That sent the Dow tumbling 953 points and the S&P 500 dropping 1.6%. This morning, stocks are attempting a comeback, with investors hoping that a deal to end the war will be reached soon. Stock futures are pointing to solid gains at the open. Shares of several large trucking companies, FedEx Freight and Old Dominion, plunged in trading yesterday. Amazon is taking another step deeper into shipping. The company is expanding its less-than-truckload freight service, where multiple companies share space on the same truck, to destinations across the U.S. This is raising fears that Amazon will snatch business away from established players. And former ExxonMobil CEO Lee Raymond has died. He oversaw the biggest corporate merger in the history of the oil industry, with Exxon's 1999 acquisition of Mobil. He was 87 years old. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Watch out. The summer slump is trying to take root. Luckily, you can plant a seed, read, with Rugby's Parish Library's summer reading program for all ages. Read what you love, log your minutes, and win cool prizes, books, fun, and freebies. That's how we grow at RPL. From kids to grown-ups, every book helps your mind bloom this summer. Visit rpl.org to find summer fun near you and start growing at your library today.
Hazy, hot, and humid. Good morning. Our forecast calling for partly cloudy skies for the next couple of days. As was the afternoon highs today, about 94 degrees tonight. We'll get down to 75 for the overnight low. And more of the same really in store for us tomorrow. Afternoon highs 93, 94 degrees. Saturday the same. A good chance of some rain maybe during the afternoon on Sunday. From the Sedlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Welcome back to Talkback for this lovely Thursday morning. Nice day driving in. Going to be warm later today, but the mornings are nice. Thanks to our crack research department, also known as some faithful listeners. Appreciate this. I got a Wikipedia article on David Robinson, who was actually born the same year I was, 1965. They called him the Admiral because of his service to the U.S. Navy, and he spent his entire 14-year career with the San Antonio Spurs and is now a minority owner of the team. So interesting. He was widely considered one of the greatest centers in basketball, both college and NBA, according to this Wikipedia article. Not sure if he edited that himself or somebody, because have you ever edited a Wikipedia article?
Mm-mm.
No? I have edited a few.
In journalism school, we're told never, ever, ever to use it.
Well, that means you can't edit it to get
be changed.
Use it. You might be infected, huh? Well, he played for the United States Naval Academy and was selected by the Spurs as their first pick in 1987. But he had to fulfill his active duty obligation to the Navy, so he couldn't play until 1989. 10-time NBA All-Star, MVP in 95, two-time champion in Spurs 99 and 2003, a two-time Olympic gold medal winner in 92 and 96, and a two-time Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame inductee in 2009 for his individual career, in 2010 as a member of the gold medal winning Dream Team at the 92 Barcelona Olympics. So that's who I was remembering. I remember to me, he always seemed like such a wholesome guy.
Who is it again?
David Robinson is his name. And when I would watch him, and maybe I don't know, but I don't remember him talking smack. He didn't carry himself like a fighter, he seemed like a gentleman from what I remember. So that's the only reason I did like the Spurs at the time. So, I thank you very much to our listeners for sending that to me, because otherwise I wouldn't have had all those details at my fingertips. 318-442-8255. Love to hear from you this morning as we will continue our conversation. We were expecting a phone call from someone that had said they would call in, but we haven't heard from them yet. I don't want to embarrass them by saying who, but definitely something to make sure the number is available for your call. I'm sure you saw. I don't know if y'all talked about yesterday the former DeRidder mayor's sentencing, 90 days in jail.
Oh wow.
So a lot of people were frustrated with that, feeling like when an adult has sex with a minor, that's just a mere slap on the wrist. But then others said that she has taken complete ownership of it. She's quoted as saying, what an embarrassment I've been to the city. She has, completely acknowledged the problems that she created. She was convicted of carnal knowledge of a juvenile and indecent behavior with a juvenile. And they both carry, I think, up to like 15, 18 years, maybe 20 years prison. That's a maximum, but there's no minimum. So she was really sentenced to a small 90-day sentence, and I think she has to pay a several $1,000 fine. So it comes some back and forth. There were, like I say, many that did speak for her and said, hey, she's completely remorseful. She's owning this. It's a huge error in judgment. I'm sure alcohol was involved, I'm guessing, from what I'd read. So we'll see what happens in time. This is her statement to the court. She said, I blamed myself then, I blame myself today, and I will blame myself for the rest of my life. I let a lot of people down, and I am the only person responsible for that. So she went on to say, what an embarrassment I've been to the city. I've made a mess of all of this, but it certainly was not my intent. She spoke of her fear of losing her children, and she said, I feared that day that her husband would leave and take her children and I'd never see them again, speaking of her ex-husband, David Clanton. And she closed her remarks with an appeal to the court centered on motherhood. She said, I don't have to move mountains. I didn't have to shake the world. I just had to cook dinner. I just want to be their mom. I'm here just asking for grace and mercy and the opportunity to do what the Lord has asked me to do, which is be a mom. And then she addressed the victim's family. She said to this, and the name is redacted, of course, "I am sorry. I can't give back the high school days. I can't take away the embarrassment that so many mean people on the internet have put them through." And so, she really seemed to have some, significantly remorseful comments. But the family of the victim certainly has some strong comments as well. So we'll see. There may be an appeal. The prosecution did argue for the maximum sentence, but in the end, the defense arguing for a suspended sentence. The judge kind of split the baby and gave her 90 days in jail plus the restitution. So
yeah, I mean, the public prison she's going to be in for quite some time, and probably deservedly so, is going to be pretty steep.
And she will have to undergo regular drug screenings and psychological therapy. The rest of her sentence is 2 5-year suspended sentences, which can be activated if she violates the terms of her release. So, I mean, this is going to hang over her for 10 more years.
Yeah.
Definitely played out in the media and the social media for sure. All right, let's go to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I was actually calling about something else, but I'm on the app, so there's a delay.
Yeah, no worries.
That woman's story. I felt she should have been punished more severely. But the story reminds me of something that our pastor always says, is that sin will take you further than you intend to go, keep you there longer than you intend to stay, and cost you more than you ever intended to pay. And when we're caught up in our sin, and we're all prone to it, prone to wander. Lord, I feel it. But that said, the law is there for a reason, and so because a person now feels remorse, I don't see that as any reason for lessening what the law calls for her sentencing. But I haven't paid close attention to this. It's been very distasteful to me to watch, but she'll carry that the rest of her life. But I was actually calling about something that the people can see tonight when they go outside. I'm an amateur astronomer, and I love looking at the sky. And I came out of Walmart yesterday evening in Kingsville there, and there were those two bright lights in the sky in the west, and it's Venus and Jupiter. And it struck me when you think about it and put it in perspective. And I wanted people, if they get a chance to go out, it should be for the next few nights. I'm not sure exactly how long they stay in that arrangement, but we see one is Venus, which is between us and the sun, and that's why we see it looking towards the setting sun. But Jupiter is on the other side of the sun. So when you're seeing Jupiter this evening, you're looking past Venus and past Mercury and past the sun, and then past Mercury's other track, outbound orbital path, past Venus's orbital path, past ours, past Mars's, past the asteroid belt, and then to Jupiter. So that thing is way out there, and it always makes me feel small and insignificant in a way that when you get a glimpse of creation, it's almost like standing on the edge of the ocean. It makes you feel small, and it's good to have those moments from time to time. It makes me feel insignificant in the way that I'm a teeny tiny speck in this thing, but important in the part that I know my Creator delights to show us beauty and things like that, and has condescended to make himself known to us through his word and through his son. And so I just want to encourage everybody to take a minute to go. I know the humidity's bad, but it's a little better there in the evenings. You can't see them till right at sunset or after is better. And they'll be up there, and just think about what you're looking at. And it helps me to just go, wow. I love every time I put my telescope on something and have somebody watch it. I have a very simple scope. It's a big scope, but it's very simple. So I don't have a tracking motor. So when we look at something like Jupiter, and it moves through the eyepiece.
Oh, wow.
Because it's so far away.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they say, wow, it's moving. And I say, it's not moving. You're moving. And it's the first time they perceive the rotation of the Earth. And everybody, I've had this scope for 20 years, and nobody ever fails to say, wow. That's the first time they perceive that. And it just helps us put things in perspective. So if you ever get a chance, when you look at Jupiter, it's a real treat, because you can usually see at least 4 of its larger moons. And actually, they orbit Jupiter's so fast that if you go out in the evening early and draw a little picture of what it looks like, it'll be a ball with 2 stripes on it, and then those 4 moons will be in some configuration. And go in, eat supper, take a bath, get ready for bed. When you come out a couple hours later, those moons will actually have moved.
Wow.
And it's interesting to look at. But I just want to make everybody know that while it's
Let me give you my wow response. The fact that you could see it from the parking lot of Walmart with all that light pollution shows how bright it had to have been.
Yes. Yes.
That makes me think of Psalms 8, 3, and 4, where David writes, when I consider the heavens and the work of your hands, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place. He goes on to say, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the son of man?
Amen.
So when you said that, it makes me feel small. That's a 3,000-year-old sentiment from King David. So I did look real quick.
Men are the same.
Yeah, you're right.
Go ahead.
Well, I just looked real quick. It said the planets will remain in close proximity for viewing through the rest of the week, specifically until around June 15th, when they will appear within 5 degrees of each other. And so they say the best time to start viewing is 30 to 45 minutes after sunset. You'll see it for about 2 hours. So by 11, you won't see it anymore. Very, very fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you for that call.
It's good to put us in our place from time to time. It's good for us to be put into our place. All right. Thanks. Y'all have a great day.
Appreciate you very much. We've got 2 callers lined up. We've got to take the break. Back with more on Talkback after this.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Sedla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL. When you think of real estate, one name is at the top of the list: Ritchie Real Estate. Matt and his team are experts when buying and selling homes, businesses, land, leases, or even industrial buildings. And at Ritchie Real Estate, they can even handle all of your property management needs. They make the entire process easy and as stress-free as possible. They are your full-service choice for anything in real estate. Trust the professionals and find them online at ritchierealestate.com.
Remember when eating corn right off the cob was one of your favorite summertime treats? Or how about taking a big bite out of a crisp, fresh apple? If it's been a while since you enjoyed these delightful activities, chances are your teeth are no longer up for the task. But now there's great news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville are Cenla's dental implant experts. They're both highly trained and experienced in the procedure. Now with thousands of completely satisfied, delighted patients. They make dental implant surgery simple by using today's most current technologies, along with in-office IV sedation administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. You'll be in and out before you know it, without all the anxiety. Plus, at Today's Dental, their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Go back to crunching all your favorite foods. Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 448-4540.
I start every workday morning off the same way. I stop in and pick up breakfast at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express. It's convenient, quick, and oh so good. Croissants, biscuits, breakfast subs, and their hot coffee is the perfect pick-me-up. They always ask me why I'm in such a good mood when I get to work. Improve your mood. Stop by Wilmore's any weekday morning from 6 till 9 and get your day started right. That's Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express right there on the corner of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapides Road.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, welcome back to Talkback. Fixing to jump on the phone line, but before I do that, let me mention Our good friend Ed Tarpley, former prosecutor up in Grant Parish, texted me that not only, speaking back to the former mayor of DeRidder, not only the sentence that she received of the incarceration sentence plus the 2 5-year suspended sentences, she will also have to register as a sex offender for 15 years because carnal knowledge of a juvenile is a tier 1 offense. So it's a 15-year registration. So appreciate that. Ed Tarpley, that legal mind that comes to give us good information. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Yeah. Were you supposed to have somebody to talk about that carbon sequestration meeting in Pineville?
We will have someone coming on at 8 o'clock. Yes, Colonel Mark Guillory will be with us. He is part of the Save Our Louisiana or Save My Louisiana group. And we thought we were going to have a phone call from someone that they actually called in while we were talking, and then they had to drop off during the break. So not sure if we'll have that phone call, but we will have Colonel Mark Guillory to talk about that meeting at 8 o'clock or 8:05 after the news.
One of the points I'd like to make is that surprise meeting that nobody knew about was a required Department of Environmental Quality meeting that has to be held. And the meeting that's going to be held today or this evening is probably pretty much worthless unless people sign something that is submitted to DEQ about the permit and that sort of thing. Just a bunch of people being unhappy because something happened without their knowledge doesn't mean much of anything. What is important is that the information, the signatures go to DEQ and be properly recorded. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of unhappy people.
Yeah, I don't think you're incorrect on that at all. The DEQ public hearing, that was a required meeting that they do, and I will say that since I sit on like Rapides Area Planning Commission and the Metropolitan Organization, there are so many times that we will have these hearings and you put out the notices at the required notices the way you're supposed to. You send out the press release to the media. If the media doesn't pick up on that, it's not RAPC's fault or the MPO's fault. They did what they were supposed to do. And my guess is DEQ followed their procedures and sent out their notice because it is a public meeting, but nobody picked up on it until almost too late. I think that was June 4th is when that meeting was held. And that was part of the air quality hearing that the DEQ is overseeing. And it turned into, from what I gather from the videos I've seen, just a general complaint about carbon capture, carbon sequestration. But that was an air quality required meeting. Your conversation about tonight being, this is not a formal meeting that we know of, and we'll hear more from Colonel Guillory, but there is no, as you say, unless there's some kind of document that people can sign to provide statements to the DEQ, this is really going to be more of an informational meeting by the Save My Louisiana organization.
Yeah, well, since you're a retiring legislative person.
Yes, sir.
The law basically says you have to announce these things in the document of record, which apparently is the newspaper. And nobody reads a newspaper now.
So let me tell you, interesting that you bring that up. At the city council meeting on Tuesday night, we had a motion. We've done this for my 20 plus years. Every single year it's required by state law that the first meeting in the month of June, every governmental entity has the state or name their official journal. And the state law has specific recommendations or requirements for what a journal can be. It has to be at least a weekly published product, and it has to have a certain circulation. Well, after some discussion, that vote passed 4-1. There was one member of the council who voted against it, who felt it was unfair to require the city to make the official journal a product that people have to pay to read when it could be on our website for free. And so that there was some good discussion there. The attorney, Mark Villar, the city's attorney, gave some understanding of how that works and why the requirement is what it is. And ultimately, it did pass 4-1, but he began that conversation. The LMA, Louisiana Municipal Association, and the Police Jury Association have both lobbied for that law to be changed because I think the city of Pineville pays about $12,000 a year to publish our minutes and notices in the journal, in the Town Talk. And how many people do you think read those legal postings in the Town Talk?
So the City of Pineville website is going to be the record now?
No, we did vote 4-1 to keep it with the Town Talk because the attorney told us essentially that is still the law. So it was a 4-1 vote.
That's kind of dumb now. I mean, you could just post on the City of Pineville Facebook page and it probably goes to more people.
Absolutely.
That's got to be fixed. Nothing against the Town Talk here, but.
Well, the other thing is in the resolution, it said that the official journal shall be the Town Talk, and it gave an address in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's their address.
Yeah.
And I made the comment, it's frustrating to send $12,000 a year to Green Bay, Wisconsin, but there is no other weekly published news outlet. You've got the Cenla Focus, which is monthly, and then you have like Rapides Journal, but they're online only. We could get more coverage by Pineville.net if the mechanism were allowed.
It's nonsensical.
Yeah, well, if you were in the newspaper business, you'd be very disappointed if you weren't getting Pineville's money and presumably Alexandria's money.
Ball, Woodworth, absolutely. No, you're 100% right, and that's why it stayed, because they do have good lobbyists. So I've got to take this break because
catch you later.
Thank you so much for your call. Feel free to call back when the guy calls in next hour.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255.
A man's word should still mean something. Honesty matters. Character matters. So when John Fleming was hauled into court twice in 2 months for running untruthful ads filled with lies and twice forced to take down the lies, that tells you everything about who Fleming really is. Fleming's lies couldn't hold up before a judge, and his lies shouldn't hold up with you. Fleming hasn't just been lying in his ads. He's been lying to cover up his liberal record. Fact. In Congress, Fleming voted against Republican border security funding. Fact. Fleming gave your tax dollars to Barack Obama to protect sanctuary cities and block the deportation of illegals. Fact. Fleming lied about his job with President Trump. Lie after lie after lie. John Fleming is a fraud who cannot be trusted. Visit FlemingIsAFraud.com. Accountability Project paid for and is responsible for this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Accountabilityproject.la.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricato's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt in your mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
Dean, giving away all those lawn chairs was so much fun.
Yes, and seeing all those deserving administrative professionals get the credit they deserve was very inspiring. I gotta hand it to you, Dean.
That contest was a great idea. So what are we gonna do next? Got any more good ideas up your sleeve?
Well, now that you've mentioned it, have you seen those dance challenges on the TikTok?
Dance challenges?
Yeah, a bunch of local businesses have been posting them.
I've seen them. They're hilarious.
Well, I've come up with a new dance for Say's Office Supply. Y'all watch this. Rich, hit that beat.
What was that?
I call it the pencil sharpener.
Look more like a dull pencil to me.
All right. I'll take that off the agenda, and we'll just get back to...
You get it all at Say's Office Supply.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Former LSU linebacker Derry Beckwith stops by the show and will preview the College World Series. Join us Thursday, 3 to 6, Alexandria's 94.7 ESPN.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's Talk. Talkback.
All right, welcome back to Talkback. Quickly to the phone lines we go. We got about 45 seconds, caller. Welcome to Talkback.
President Trump and the Trump administration consider carbon sequestration as a part of national security, and it's going to happen no matter what. No matter what you say at no meeting, it's going to happen.
All right. Well, appreciate that call and that perspective. There's the music that tells us we got to wrap up this hour. We will have coming up in the next hour Colonel Mark Guillory from Save My Louisiana to talk about tonight's meeting there in Pineville. So stick around for that. We'll have that conversation and lots more news from around the nation and around the state on the second hour of Talkback. Thanks for joining Stephen and Nathan this morning.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3 HD3. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3 HD3, Alexandria. It's 8 o'clock.
Night again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just posted that on Truth Social a short time ago and then tells Fox
they have no defense. They can't do anything about it.
Saying Iran is decimated.
They're dying to make a deal so badly.
Now, the president also wrote in his post he wants to take Iran's Karg Island and their oil infrastructure, but he also tells Fox.
I don't know that America has the stomach for it, to be honest with you. You're going to make a fortune. But I don't know that America has the stomach. I think they'd like to see us come home.
Now, the president also says for the second night in a row, the U.S. hit Iran very hard.
Rather than trying to force the Iranians into a deal that they've been unwilling to make so far, the president is now targeting these critical assets belonging to the Iranian regime. What we saw last night, broadly a shaping operation. You see the radar systems and the air defense systems taken out by not only Tomahawk missiles, but the fighter jets that were in the skies of Iran.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Iran has retaliated and says the ceasefire has been rendered practically meaningless.
Iranian strikes targeted locations in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan, all countries with a U.S. military presence. Kuwait condemned what it called sinful aggressions from Iran.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. We got another inflation update a little bit ago, this time at the wholesale level.
Coming in hotter than Wall Street expected.
Producer prices rose 1.1% last month from April.
As for year over year, we came in 6.5%. The street was looking for 6.4%, just a slight tick above expectations.
Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni, that May rate is the biggest annual price increase since November 2022, but the core wholesale inflation rate, which excludes food and energy costs, rose less than expected. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after the report on spiking consumer prices triggered a huge market sell-off. Oil prices are up slightly. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, this 25th anniversary of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation remains committed to honoring the heroes shaped by that day. Heroes like NYPD Detective Victor Vargas, a U.S. Air Force veteran who died from pancreatic cancer after serving in the World Trade Center recovery efforts. Tunnel to Towers honored Detective Vargas by paying off the family's mortgage. You can donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Here it comes. Surprise! The people above your catering business are doing major construction, and the drilling is only during business hours. So loud.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money, getting personalized discounts on a commercial auto quote with Progressive.
Also, that isn't powdered sugar on the floor. It's plaster from your ceiling.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
It could be a nasty day in parts of the Midwest again, with a high risk of severe storms from Missouri up to Wisconsin to Michigan.
It follows Wednesday's storm that spawned tornado warnings across Illinois and Kansas, as well as parts of Missouri and Iowa. Stretching more than 350 miles, the storm knocked out power to hundreds of thousands of customers and caused more than 1,000 flight delays or cancellations at Chicago's 2 major airports. Barns collapsed in Wisconsin. Buildings were crushed in rural northern Missouri. Tanya J. Powers, Sports, Fox News.
Soccer's World Cup starts today in Mexico. Team USA plays its opening match tomorrow, taking on Paraguay in Los Angeles, one of many matches that will be played in the U.S., so there's a lot of security in place.
White House World Cup Task Force Director Andrew Giuliani says a big focus has been on counter-drone capability.
All 78 matches will have drone mitigation, so keeping drones from actually going into the stadium. There'll be a 3-mile wide temporary flight restriction for those as well.
Giuliani told the Fox News Rundown podcast the president allowed the Iranian team into the U.S. to play in the World Cup. However, there were people in Iran's football delegation connected to the IRGC who were not allowed.
And we are not going to allow a World Cup or a soccer tournament to be an excuse to allow people that are connected to the Revolutionary Guard in Iran to come into the United States of America.
He confirmed soccer fans from Iran are not allowed in either. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Today's opening matches south of the border are Mexico versus South Africa. That's this afternoon. Then tonight, South Korea takes on Czechia. Last night, history was made in the NBA Finals.
The Knicks pull off the miracle comeback and lead it 3-1.
The call on ABC, the Spurs blew the biggest finals lead ever, up by 29 points in the second half. They lost to the Knicks 107-106. New York hit the game-winning shot with a second to go. Game 5 will be Saturday night in San Antonio. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
How about former West Monroe star Hayden Federico and the Ole Miss Rebels? His dad is former ULM head coach and current La Tech assistant Michael Federico.
For us to be there as a family and to see him living his best life with his buddies and growing and developing in the game has been, really don't have any words for it.
LRN. Several school leaders are pushing back against Governor Landry's plan to take money away from the operating budget of public schools and use those dollars to fund a $2,000 stipend that teachers have received the last 3 years. Jefferson Parish School Superintendent James Gray wrote a letter to legislators asking them to find an alternative solution. A 2/3 vote from the House and Senate is needed for this plan to be approved. A Vermilion Parish School is taking a strong stand and getting their students off of social media.
Vermilion Catholic has banned students in 8th grade and below from social media effective immediately. The ban extends to 9th graders next year. Father Alexander Albert says social media has proven to be nothing but trouble for kids.
There's something specific about social media that leads to a lot of educational and social difficulties that we are trying to address.
Father Albert says the vast majority of the feedback has been positive. Now, the school is not messing around. Those subject to the ban who are caught with profiles face detention, suspensions, bans from activity, and on the 4th offense, expulsion. I'm Andrew Greenstein.
LRN.
Tired of that same plumbing issue? Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Plumbing problems, large or small, Southern Air will fix them all. And you'll get service with no delay from certified technicians the very same day. Take advantage of our $99 drain clearing special and our 0% financing for those larger jobs. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com. The official heating and cooling provider for LSU football.
Hazy, hot, and humid. Good morning. Our forecast calling for partly cloudy skies for the next couple of days, as was the afternoon highs today, about 94 degrees. Tonight, we'll get down to 75 for the overnight low. And more of the same really in store for us tomorrow. Afternoon highs, 93, 94 degrees. Saturday, the same. A good chance of some rain, maybe during the afternoon on Sunday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grace.
All right, welcome back to Talkback. Once again, a little glitch in the board. We will get our crack producer and engineer, Dave Gratian, on it. I heard y'all say yesterday all the things he does, but no music on the return right there. So we're sorry for the hard shift there, but nevertheless, glad to have you back on Talkback. Nathan Martins with Stephen Maxwell. And we're joined this morning by Colonel Mark Guillory, retired Air Force Colonel, if I'm not mistaken. And we're delighted to have you with us in the studio this morning. Colonel Guillory, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. So we understand it's been talked about quite a bit. I played one of y'all's little clips earlier. Save My Louisiana is hosting a public forum or a public hearing, I guess, a public meeting tonight at 6 o'clock at the Pineville Hotel and Convention Center. Best way to describe it is the big place next to the church with all the flags.
That's correct.
Across from the old Kmart. That's right. So tell us, what's the genesis of this meeting tonight? What brought it about?
Well, the long look back is the genesis of CCS in the state and eminent domain legislation passed by the legislature back in 2020 and that sort of thing. But primarily what happened was last week there was a public hearing, or actually for comment, over the Beaver Lake renewables that's going to be placed out there at the old International Paper site, not far from where I grew up.
And that was an LDEQ hearing for air quality.
That's for air quality, specifically for Beaver Lake and what that's going to look like.
Pull that mic a little closer.
Okay. So for LDEQ's hearing what the public had to be able to make comments over the air quality issues that were taking place there. So what ended up is industry showed up and provided some of their support and some other industry in the area. But what ended up was a large group of locals stood up and said, we don't want this. We don't want this. And the primary reason that we were listening to, as I was listening to the audience, and I had some things to say as well, was that the entire agenda has the population has the perception that the entire agenda has been hidden. And all of the information hasn't been put out. They have not been included. Now, local industry and businesses have been included, but they do not, that's not the entire area. There are a lot more people in Rapides Parish and the general area that aren't involved in the business industry and the movers and shakers and that sort of thing. And so there's this general perception among the greater population that what's going on here? What are you doing? It's the same thing with the data center that came. It was a surprise to a lot of people. Now, those involved, of course, it's not surprising to them, but the others are very surprised. And so there was a reaction at that meeting last week. And we said, well, people want to be heard. They're not being heard. They want to be informed. They're not informed. And so let's have a meeting this week and give them an opportunity to speak. So tonight, when people come, they're going to get the opportunity to ask us questions. We're going to do what the government hasn't been doing, what the Rapides Police Jury has not been doing, what local government has not been doing, and what those who have put this entire process together from Beaver Lake, which is Sungas Renewables, all the way to the data center. Where's the information? Now, they'll tell you that, hey, we have public hearings. Case in point, last week we had a public hearing. But you're having a public hearing on something that's been put together for years, and we didn't know what was going on. Now, if you want to build a business on the side of town over there and you bought property and you're going to do that, that's your business. But when you're going to build facilities that have long-term consequences to the greater area, then you need to let other people know what you're doing. And the public needs to be informed. And you need to engage us by telling us in some obscure place, oh, we're going to have a hearing so that you can come hear about this, is ludicrous. All of us are busy with our lives. All of us have our things going on. And so to catch some small print and some obscure paper somewhere is unrealistic. And if you really think that this is such amazing economic development, then don't you want to get buy-in from as many people as you possibly can and not just the moneyed interests? You say it's good for all of us, this economic development. Well, come and convince us that. Tell us that. Tell us the whole story. Don't just tell us about the $1.8 billion investment that you're going to make. Okay, great. What are the details? You tell us that 1,500 jobs are coming to the area. Those are going to be to build the plant. Well, where are they coming from? It turns out it's a company in Omaha, Nebraska that's going to be doing the construction. So how many people, local people, you think are going to be hired? 1,500? Of course not. That's absurd. You make us think that. but that's not true. And so give us the rest of the story, the complete story. Tell us about the tax abatements. Help people. Not everyone understands what a tax abatement is. So help us understand what that's about. In other words, give us the rest of the story. And people are hungry for the rest of the story. They haven't been given. And we're going to give them the opportunity to come and ask questions. We hope that local politicians show up. If for no other reason, come sit and listen about how many questions people have, so that your failure in informing the public becomes incredibly apparent. And so that's the general perception. You didn't tell us what was going on. It appears as though you've acted in a subversive manner. You've signed NDAs. Why would a public official sign an NDA? That's an absurdity. You are making decisions for the public that voted for you, by the way, and now you're going to officially sign an agreement with a company so that you can act in secrecy.
I've seen that recently commented that public officials have signed that. I've not heard of that outside of those claims. So y'all have some documentation or some evidence, or you know that has happened?
No, we obviously know it's happened. I mean, down in Ascension Parish, there were NDAs signed with carbon capture sequestration operations and lawsuits. And a judge down there says, the company says, well, we don't have to tell you about local politicians. Judge says that you're absolutely going to cough up those NDAs. If you, as an elected official, has been discussing information that's going to affect the public at large, that's the whole idea of public, is that we should know what's going on. And locally, we've asked the Rapids Police Jury, have you signed NDAs? Crickets. They wouldn't even say no.
Yeah.
So shouldn't they be excited to say, of course we haven't?
Yeah.
But in all fairness, too, like, I'm not going to say it's conspiratorial, but I didn't know about the meeting for DEQ until like 2 or 3 hours before.
We found out 24 hours prior. Yeah.
I think this goes back to, though, the conversation we had earlier about these journals of record, and they usually are published in the legal notices section, and not very many people read the legal notices section. So what I've seen in the past, whenever some of the boards I've served on has these public meetings, somehow, unless the media picks it up and says, hey, we got a notice of this, people don't hear. So you're right about that.
And why wouldn't they come to an organization like you, who has an enormous impact in the local area, and say, oh, by the way, would you mention this?
Yeah.
I'm rather certain that you would have.
Certainly.
Right? Hey, oh, by the way, next week, this is going to happen. And for a week, every morning, you remind people. Maybe it's because you don't want anybody there.
Maybe. I will tell you this, though. You will find our audience is informed on CCS, because we get calls all the time, and we have a call right now.
But did they know about that hearing?
I don't know that.
That's
Good
my
question.
point. My point is not about their information about CCS. It's what is the government doing with it? What agreements are they signing? What are they pushing? And what are the consequences? And you can tell me about all the awesome stuff, but you ought to be honest and tell me about, here are some other issues that may be concerns. Let me hear what you have to think, and we need to find ways to mitigate those issues.
I'm thinking of what some of the local politicians who've been in favor would say to some of this. They would probably say, we had a meeting. Was it at Pineville High School?
Yes.
Yeah. What else would you like to
Philadelphia?
see? No, it was at Pineville High School, too.
Okay.
Now, there have been some other meetings that were privately held where the gentleman in the oil industry, I'm trying to remember his name, spoke.
Well, I'm talking about whenever they had the LSU.
But Pineville High School had that was a DEQ LED meeting with the geologists from the Louisiana department. Yeah, they came and spoke. And that was a very well-attended meeting, but that was about a year ago.
And that was before I became involved in this.
Yeah.
So
what would you like to see from local elected officials? What kind of meeting? What do you want?
Well, one of the first things is that I want local officials to show up tonight. I want the Rapids Police Jury to be there. I want Craig to be there. I want Randy Wiggins to be there, and Mike Johnson to be there. I don't need them to come and speak. I need them to come and listen. I need them to sit and listen and hear people's questions. Now, will they come? I don't know, because it could be contentious. We're going to try to ensure that it doesn't get contentious, because that doesn't get us anywhere. We want to be able to hear and listen. But maybe they've heard industry. They've heard all the roadblocks that need to be, quote, moved out of the way so that industry can flourish. But have they heard what we think? When it comes to data centers, and all of this is connected, as your audience well knows, it comes to data centers, there's not one positive thing that we're hearing from communities across America, all rural communities and small towns. We're not hearing one positive thing across the entire spectrum about those things. And yet have our public officials had public meetings? This is what I want, public meetings, and to say we have heard that water issues are a major issue around data centers. This is how we intend to mitigate it or how we intend to deal with it. Electric bills are a major issue around local data centers. This is what we intend to do to mitigate it. But it has this appearance as though everything is a backroom deal. And when you sign an NDA, you're exclaiming that it's a backroom deal.
Well, and I'm not trying to push back, but just to offer perspective, I am an elected official for 19 more days. June 30th is coming soon, and I'm happy about that. But I've not signed an NDA. I've not been approached to sign an NDA, and I'm not aware of any elected officials that have signed NDA. So I'm just going to put that out there. In Rapides Parish.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's happened.
But we would sure like for them to publicly say that.
Okay, but I'm not aware of it. And I also want to say,
and no shenanigans.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have not signed an NDA about anything. Don't say I haven't signed an NDA on a Thursday about about this and narrow it down so much that they lived it. Well, that's not what I said. Later, when you find out that they did, well, I didn't say I didn't sign an NDA on that.
Yeah.
Be super open and super.
Well, I've not signed an NDA on anything. Anything. I've signed one NDA in my life, and it was for a church member who had an invention that asked me for some advice.
And that
was
not
years
as
ago.
a public event. That's not as a public
Right.
official.
No, as a
and so
pastor.
that's absolutely okay.
I can't speak for anybody else. I won't. But I just want to make sure I put that out there that I'm not aware of any. I do want to credit Bruce LeBlanc is the name I was thinking of. I'm not sure if he's going to be there tonight or not, but he's the one that spoke at many of those. And I did see Craig and Randy. I'm not sure if I saw Representative Johnson, but I did see many of those at some of those meetings. So they have been and attended. I just want to make sure that I'm kind of leveling the playing field.
Have they attended any opposition meetings?
Oh, no, those were opposition meetings.
It's easy to come to a meeting where everyone likes the idea and it's being presented as this is what, but what about the other side of the story?
I know that,
and that's tough. You know, as a public official, it's hard for people to say, I don't like what you're doing and I don't like the idea. And if they can give a logical, sequential reason to answer of why they don't think, then you should obviously take that in consideration and discuss how we're going to mitigate the conflict.
I know they had the meeting in DeVille, and I covered it. State Representative Mike Johnson was there. State Rep Jason DeWitt was there. There were some other ones that were there, and people were getting in their face, like telling them, this is what we believe, this is wrong, we don't want it to happen. And they presented bills to the legislature, and they failed, you know?
Look,
like,
Mike
you know, I'm
Johnson-
asking, like, what happens next, you know, for you guys?
No, Mike Johnson presented the House Bill 7, which is the Landowners Protection Act, and gave a tremendous, a heartfelt support and introduction of that bill. And then also House Bill 5 for local option. I was there for both of those. Absolutely, you know, that's good, and people know that. So I don't think it's going to be a lynching when they show up to a meeting like this. You know,
So you just want to
certainly not
continue
for
the
him.
conversation?
I want them involved in both sides of the story. I want them to hear because again, perception is not reality. That I've heard that a lot of times. I don't agree with that, but perception can drive reality. And when people perceive, when they think that they have been hoodwinked, that local politicians have made decisions and given authority to someone over them in various different ways, it has to be addressed. And you can talk about conspiracy theories and all that. If you don't think that organizations don't coordinate together for a certain outcome, which is a conspiracy, well, then you're out of your mind. And if you haven't noticed in the last few years how many, quote, conspiracy theories that have turned out to be true, then this is where people are standing. They're not ignorant of this. They're not bumpkins in the woods who have no idea what's going on, and yet they seem to be treated with the contempt that they're bumpkins in the woods that have no idea what's going on. Let me decide for you what's best, because Father knows what's best. And you as an adult, you have no idea what you're talking about. So let me make a decision for you. This is what we saw in the Rapids Police jury meeting back in January, when you had the room was packed. There were people outside the room. Over 20 people spoke. You were there. Over 20 people spoke in support of a CCS resolution. There were about 5 or 6 industry people that spoke, and the police jury blew off the public completely and voted for industry. And it was an absurdity. It was a shock. It showed a contempt for the electorate. And that contempt seemed to come from this place that I know what's better for you than you do. So you just need to go along with what I'm telling you. And it's very irritating. It's very irritating and frustrating. And that's why we end up where we are today. And that's why people are angry.
I got to take this break.
Okay.
I'm 4 minutes late. Stick around. We'll finish up this segment right after this.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Sedla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL.
Hey, Louisiana, it's Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. This September, Keep Louisiana Beautiful will launch Love Our Waterways, a month-long statewide cleanup to help preserve the beauty of all our waterways, including our lakes, rivers, and bayous. Volunteer to clean up litter by boat or on land along the shore. Get on board at lovelawaterways.org. That's lovelawaterways.org. I'll see you there.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Adam Galinsky, a Columbia Business School professor, often makes the connection between creativity and international travel. Foreign experience, he says, increases both cognitive flexibility and depth and integration of thought, the mind's ability to jump between different ideas, a key component of creativity. On a recent walk along the Mississippi River outside my apartment, I realized diversity can be as close as one's backyard. From America's #1 travel radio show, this is your Arm World Travel Minute. I'm Rudy Maxa. And on almost every walk, I pass folks from the large Somali community in the Twin Cities. Minneapolis and St. Paul also boasts the world's largest Hmong population and second largest Vietnamese and Ethiopian populations in the U.S. I enjoy overhearing immigrants speaking in their native language, and their restaurants are among my favorite. I've always been a city boy. I love a mix of cultures. And Galinsky notes that hearing new languages and tasting new cuisines sparks different synapses in the brain and can revitalize the mind. And sometimes you only have to step outside. More travel info at armworldtravel.com.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talkback.
All right, welcome back to Talkback. We had a caller earlier. They dropped off. We are in the studio this morning with Colonel. I'm going to get it right.
You're Lieutenant Governor.
No.
Gary Musgrove with Save My Louisiana.
No.
And
Mark Guillory.
Mark Guillory.
What did I say?
Gary Musgrove. He is with Save My Louisiana.
He's the president of
I'm
Save
sorry.
Louisiana. It's all right.
I just met you a minute ago. And
yeah, it's okay.
I got names stuck in my head. Mark Guillory, thank you very much. But you're here advocating or inviting people to come tonight to a meeting at the Pineville Hotel and Convention Center. It will be in the Convention Center, not the hotel, the building out in front.
Yeah.
So 6 o'clock?
Yeah, 6 o'clock tonight. We really hope that you come. We want to hear your questions. We want to hear your concerns. We want this to be a productive meeting. So, tamp down on the emotional pieces. We don't want to get riled up, but we do want to hear what you have to say and what you don't know. We've done a lot of study. We have geologists, we have biologists, we have other people that are professionals, recognized professionals, and we're going to be there to answer your questions.
Will you
best
be
we
making
can.
presentations beginning and then have public comment, or will it be all comment from the get-go?
It's going to start with a very short presentation, mainly introductions, and then listen. Because what we learned from last week's hearing is that the people are informed, and they want to be heard. Because as we talk to more and more people, what we hear is they're not listening. They're not listening. Yes, they have shown up. They have been here. But it's one thing to show up and be at a meeting, and then what you actually do is different than what you said you would do.
Let me offer
what you're doing isn't responsive to what we're
I hear
saying.
you. Thank you. Well, let me offer perception or information that I've heard in the public domain. I don't know that I've heard this in any kind of setting, just what I've read, because I am very interested in this. Supposedly, this AI center in Boise is going to be a closed-loop cooling system, so it will not have the demands on water that some of the earlier ones did. Have you heard that as well?
I have heard that. The governor said that.
Yeah, that's probably what I heard.
But the governor's also said a few other things that are great. You know, the governor several weeks ago said that eminent domain is not a thing for CCS. The law would dramatically disagree with him. Revised Statute 19.2, paragraph 10, 11, Revised Statute 30.1108 explicitly says that if you were engaged and industries engaged in carbon capture sequestration, they are authorized the power of eminent domain. That is a big deal for us. Daniel Lefevre's from Sungas says, when asked about what are you going to do with your carbon, he says, oh, well, someone else is going to take care of that, and that's going to be sequestered down in Vernon Parish. Well, what that means is pipelines from Beaver Lake, pipelines that aren't there, which means that you're going to have to take people's property to build a pipeline. Well, whose property are you going to take? Because right now you have the authority under the current law, in violation of the Constitution, clearly we believe, and am suing the state for that. Clearly, you can now take people's property. Have you told anybody about that part?
Well, I have heard them address it. They said we do not want to do that at all. We want all of our agreements to be voluntary. Now, I understand the difference between saying we won't.
That's an absurdity. That's an absurdity. And that was the same argument used when Representative Johnson was trying to get all of those eminent domain pieces repealed in order to protect property. And that's what industry was saying. Well, if you don't need it, then why are you opposing to repeal these things? That is absolute hypocrisy, and it's deceptive. You want to retain power over people, an authority that you should not have, quote, just in case. Well, there should never be just in case, and our basic liberties are not a just in case, and industry decides that it's a roadblock to them.
Now, that's an important point. Let me ask you this, because my other statement was going to be about the data center, but tonight's not really about the data center, right?
The data center will come up. We expect it to come up. Again, as I said earlier, all of these things are connected. Why are these companies coming to Louisiana? There are local officials that are saying they're coming here because they picked us because we've got all these awesome things that they want. Well, what appears that we have here is easy politicians, massive tax abatements, and other things that have been put in place in order to take advantage of the local people. Again, how many people are you actually employing in our local area for long term that are going to be a part of building this thing?
If I can circle back to the data center, one of the reasons I've been told they chose that is because I-49 has the major north-south hub for fiber optic transmission. And so they're literally located a stone's throw from the fastest, biggest, most robust transmission line. That's why that property was so important to them.
Right. They're also very close to the Diamond Vault sequestration hub, and Wilcox 1 and Wilcox 2 and the Sinlaw hub. So in that data center, just like every other massive company that is taking advantage of 45Q, which is the tax incentive that pays between $85 and $120 per metric ton. Beaver Lake is expecting to produce 1 million tons of CO2. That's what amazes me, that this whole thing is a climate change agenda, and it genuinely is. What is climate change about? CO2, remove it from the air. How are we going to do that? Either reduce or replace man-made CO2. Well, biofuels is an alternative fuel. This is a replacement of fossil fuels. Trade and Economics will tell us, an organization that promotes climate change, it would tell us that biofuel production produces 16% more CO2 than fossil fuels. Well, that's not really an alternative if that's what your aim is. But the production of CO2 and selling that CO2 is making a lot of money. Beaver Lake has told us directly in questioning, hey, would you be here without 45Q? Immediately, no.
No, we've asked the same question here and said the same thing.
Well,
Colonel Mark Guillory, thank you for coming in. Tonight, 6 o'clock, Pineville Convention Center. I hope to see you there. I plan to make it there.
Good.
Look forward to seeing others folks there to be educated and hear what the folks have to say.
And come ask questions. Come ask questions.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Back with more on Talkback.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Positive tone on Wall Street this morning after yesterday's drop. Big layoffs, though, at Xbox. Sources say the Microsoft division planning significant cuts at the video game unit to stem declining revenue. OpenAI weighing drastic price cuts. Wall Street Journal says that's as the maker of ChatGPT seeks to win customers from rival Anthropic. Big moment for some big brands. Morning Consult poll for Bloomberg says Coca-Cola is the brand most often connected with the World Cup. McDonald's and Verizon also betting millions. Gen Z, most enthusiastic about the global soccer event, but most baby boomers say they aren't fans at all. Grindr's CEO says he wants his dating app to become a gay hub. That would be for culture and health. And ice cream chain Ben & Jerry's co-founder Ben Cohn says that brand is being destroyed by new owner Magnum by muzzling the brand from criticizing President Trump. Campaign to free Ben & Jerry's from Magnum's ownership has attracted support from more than 130,000 people. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial, all with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, fences that feel like home.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-264-0149 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-264-0149. That's 800-264-0149. What do you have to lose? Call 800-264-0149. Again, 800-264-0149.
Hazy, hot, and humid. Good morning. Our forecast calling for partly cloudy skies for the next couple of days. As was the afternoon highs today, about 94 degrees. Tonight, we'll get down to 75 for the overnight low. And more of the same really in store for us tomorrow. Afternoon highs, 93, 94 degrees. Saturday, the same. A good chance of some rain maybe during the afternoon on Sunday. From the Sunlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Talkback. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
All right, welcome back to Talkback. Interesting, stimulating, exciting conversations are taking place left and right, and you can be a part of it. 318-442-8255. That is the opportunity for you to call in on the BOM Bank talk line, and we want to hear from you. We have a couple of segments left. Another big piece of news that was out there it's probably have a pretty big impact on a lot of people in our area is the Southern Baptist Convention's annual meeting yesterday. There was a vote to reaffirm the traditional Southern Baptist stance of saying that pastors can only be men. And there was much discussed. You might remember a year or two ago, Rick Warren's church, Saddleback, one of the largest Baptist churches in the United States, was disfellowship from the Southern Baptist Convention.
That was a long time ago.
Was it that far ago?
It's over 5 years. Huh?
Okay, well,
maybe not.
But nevertheless, there was a lot of discussion, and I think the final vote was 75-25-ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
so
it was like 6,000 to 2,000 votes.
Yeah, so it was essentially a reaffirmation of what their longtime stance has been. If you have thoughts about that, give us a call. The phone lines have lit up, though, and I don't know if you're talking about that or something else. So we'll find out. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Where you will start with the good news first. 433 for diesel this morning. It's still declining. It's better than it was last week.
Very good.
Diesel prices going down. On the Beaver Lake, they came. The people from Beaver Lake or from is it SunGas is the name of the company.
It's got like 4 names, but I think Beaver Lake Biofuels is what we're going with. Yeah.
Yeah, I think SunGas is the overarching company, but the Beaver Lake is the project local. Go ahead.
Right. They came to Pineville Rotary. We asked him the same thing, would you be there if without the 45Q? He said, of course not. But I asked when that 12-year, because it's a 12-year process for them. They get tax credit for 12 years. I said, what happens after that 12 years? If the CCS process is realized that it's stupid, and they said, we have no problem with releasing the carbon that we make. It's not problematic. They don't care where the carbon goes. They're only capturing that carbon because of the incentive to do so. As far as the process of making that product, for all they care, they can release it and let our trees absorb that carbon.
I did hear they were very clear. You're right. They have always answered that if the tax credit wasn't there, they would not be doing this. They've been very upfront. And I think when they were here in the studio and we asked them about when that tax credit expires, I thought that they said that the hope is that by then the industry will be robust enough to sustain itself without the tax credit. That's what I thought I heard them say.
And he did say that to us as well, but I asked because I expected to realize how big of a wash it is. It's a farce. I asked him, would they still continue to make fuel if they were just to no longer sequester it? And they said absolutely. They don't need to sequester the carbon for them to continue to make that fuel.
No, you're absolutely right.
That is a plus for the industry coming to our town.
Well, and I think that on the one hand, when you look at the industry, if they can get to the point where they can survive without that tax credit and they will have a viable product, that's a great thing for the community, right?
It is. It's a long-term job, long-term jobs and income for our community as long as it can get to a sustainable point. And I don't agree with the sequestering, but that's not the only part of it that doesn't sit well. The rest of it, make a biofuel. That's phenomenal. Making an alternative fuel. Why aren't we using that on our military ships? If we can use it some way, let's use alternative fuels. Mm-hmm. On the data center, they did say that they plan to go with a closed loop. Any of the data centers that are in operation with an open loop will eventually move to a closed loop system. Mm-hmm. It is not advantageous for them to have an open loop system. It creates more headaches on the mechanical cooling side, and you're cooling a lot of stuff. They will all move. Those the data centers who are open with an open loop will eventually move to closed loop. It's a practical thing that they have to do, or they'll just be wasting more money, costing themselves more equipment.
That makes sense. Well, I appreciate your call and your insight into the industry. Thank you, as always. I got to take this break. Got another call on the line. Caller, please stick around. We'll be back with more and you after this.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255.
A man's word should still mean something. Honesty matters. Character matters. So when John Fleming was hauled into court twice in 2 months for running untruthful ads filled with lies and twice forced to take down the lies, that tells you everything about who Fleming really is. Fleming's lies couldn't hold up before a judge, and his lies shouldn't hold up with you. Fleming hasn't just been lying in his ads. He's been lying to cover up his liberal record. Fact. In Congress, Fleming voted against Republican border security funding. Fact. Fleming gave your tax dollars to Barack Obama to protect sanctuary cities and block the deportation of illegals. Fact. Fleming lied about his job with President Trump. Lie after lie after lie. John Fleming is a fraud who cannot be trusted. Visit FlemingIsAfraud.com. Accountability Project paid for and is responsible for this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AccountabilityProject.la.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app. Know before you go.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talkback.
Welcome back to Talkback, and let's go straight back to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Nathan, do you mind if I change the subject from the Beaver Lake and CCS?
I would not mind at all.
So did the recent test case of an open primary change your mind about your position on the benefits of an open primary?
That's a great question. Did the recent test case change my mind?
Well, yeah, because your premise was that an open primary would give you more centrist candidates and would eliminate the fringe candidates. And mine, and I think David's position was no. A closed primary would make the Democrats run against the Democrats, and you'd get the strongest Democrats. And then the Republicans run against the Republican, and you get a strong Republican. In the most recent test case, you got two extreme candidates, and you got a Republican who, as Larry Elder said before the election, had zero chance in an open primary. So it seems like that this recent test case detracts from your premise and gives more evidence to UPS Dave's premise.
I'll concede that point, but my other point was that it is a bloody routine that causes whoever ends up being triumphant to be damaged in the primary process. And whoever from Fleming or Letlow gets the final nod, either one of them are going to be heavily wounded by fellow Republicans trying to get that nomination. And I don't know if they're as strong a candidate as if they just run against everybody. That was my other premise.
So your premise there is that competition does not make you stronger, that which doesn't kill us makes us stronger?
But what's the difference?
That out of a competitive one-on-one race, if you survive that, you come out, your campaign is stronger, your points are better taken, and you've survived all the opposition research at the primary level. So that has muted the evidence that the other side is going to give to you. For instance, the advertisement you just ran about how much of a liar Fleming is. Whether that's true or not, I'm not saying. But now that information is out in the open, and everybody's hearing it at the primary level. So that takes away the ability for the Democrats to use it against him, because we've already heard it all.
Well, Brendan Dubrock called in yesterday, who is John Fleming's campaign manager, and he highly contested those claims in that ad. I guess my point would be that it's almost like friendly fire.
You just made my point for me. the Republicans have the chance to dispute those ads at the primary level, so that they've already been cleared, already been combated, already been disputed at the primary level. And when you get to the general election level, if they prove to be false, then the Democrats can't use it against Dr. Fleming, or vice versa.
Well, maybe so and maybe no. I think what's going to happen, if Julia Letlow gets the nomination, I think the Democrats are going to pick up on the Lion Letlow motif. If Fleming gets the nomination, the Democrats are going to pick up on the Fleming is a fraud motif. So I think we've given them, not we, but the Republicans have given them opposite ammunition.
But it's already been out there. They've had the chance to combat it. There's no October surprise. There's no, here at the last minute, there's information we didn't know. It's already been vetted at the primary level.
The October surprise, was it?
There's another test case going on right now, and it's in Maine, and it's a closed primary. Like right now, do you think there's not more information that the Collins side has not used against Plattner?
Is there more information?
So, yeah, of course they're going. All the opposition research against Plattner has not been out there.
Yeah.
In an open primary, we would have never heard any of it, because there would have been two Democrats and Susan Collins running, and we would have never heard any of this. So, I mean,
okay.
But the original premise was that it leads for a centrist candidate, and that's not proven out in anywhere, even in Louisiana. I mean, you can't say that Bill Cassidy was a centrist candidate.
I actually think Bill Cassidy was more centrist, and that's why he got voted out. I think Letlow.
Well, yeah. So the impeachment vote was a centrist vote.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying that his general take.
That's why he lost.
No, there's no doubt. You're 1,000% right.
Yeah.
You're 1,000% on.
So
that's why he lost. But you take away that one vote, everything else he's done has been across the aisle, working with everybody in a participatory way. But I don't doubt at all that one vote.
That's not what you said, that you thought he was more centrist, and that's why he lost. You just said that.
No, I didn't say that's why he lost. You said that.
You did too. You said, Nathan, you just said it. You're losing good.
I said the centrist got voted out. No, I said the centrist got voted out, but it wasn't because he was a centrist. It's because he voted to convict Donald Trump, who was impeached by the House of Representatives.
Which was not a centrist position.
I agreed that position was not.
Which is why he lost. He didn't lose because of his centrist position.
No, he did not.
Because of his extreme position.
You're correct. You're correct. Well,
Anyway, it's an interesting.
You and Dave keep working on me.
Well, I mean, it's not me that's working on you. You can't deny the evidence. Don't listen to your feelings. Look at the evidence.
That's a statement I probably need to hold on to more often than not. I keep telling you this.
Look, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate the debate.
Yeah.
I really enjoy you guys. So,
let's go drink coffee.
Stephen, I never see you in the gym anymore. I'm starting to worry about you, Stephen.
Well, I usually go to Alec. Because I live
That's where I go.
Oh, you go to Alexandria?
That's where I go.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. I'm backwards. I apologize. I thought you said Powerful.
No, I usually go to Alec.
All right.
Unless I'm feeling like I want some steam.
I'll have to come to Alec to show you. I got you. I'm not getting in the steam room with you.
Please don't.
All right, man. Appreciate your call. Got to take our final break. We'll be back after
I keep telling people we could fix this whole issue if we just go to a monarchy. Wouldn't be a problem. Let's go back.
Steve doesn't want the No Kings. He wants the Mo Kings protest.
Yeah, let's
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Sedla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL.
Remember when eating corn right off the cob was one of your favorite summertime treats? Or how about taking a big bite out of a crisp, fresh apple? If it's been a while since you enjoyed these delightful activities, chances are your teeth are no longer up for the task. But now there's great news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville are Cenla's dental implant experts. They're both highly trained and experienced in the procedure. Now with thousands of completely satisfied, delighted patients. They make dental implant surgery simple by using today's most current technologies. Along with in-office IV sedation administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist, you'll be in and out before you know it, without all the anxiety. Plus, at Today's Dental, their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Go back to crunching all your favorite foods. Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 448-4540.
Finding the right catering service with the right menu can be overwhelming. When it comes to catering, you should always serve Louisiana's best. Cole's Barbecue and Steakhouse. Cole's Barbecue and Steakhouse has all chef-prepared and freshly served food for you and your guests. Let it be special. Let Cole's cater your next event or family gathering. Call 613-8800 or visit colesbbq.com for their catering menu.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, the final segment is here. Just a couple of minutes to go. Always welcome your calls, 318-442-8255. Come stump
I'm going
the
to
chump.
change your name to Jungle Primary Nate.
Everybody needs a nickname, right?
Jungle Nathan.
Jungle Nathan. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so, I'm open to conversation. I like hearing it. He's right. Some of my stuff is based on feelings. The idea that two people beat up on each other. Imagine if you had the world championship boxing match come up, but a month before it, the two people who are going to go into the ring, or to decide who's going to go into the ring, somebody's going to get beat up first. And so then you get to go into the ring and you look like Rocky Balboa at the end of Rocky 1 with your eye crusted up and your blood streaming down, and you're like, Adrian, you're all beat up, but now you got to go fight in the big. That was the other premise that I made. But hey, Nathan has been wrong many times, and I'm not ashamed to say that. It happens.
Just get rid of the parties.
I learned. Get rid of the
parties.
parties.
You wouldn't have a problem if you just get rid of them.
Just jungle.
Yeah. Everyone just runs.
Well,
no party.
I got a song for that. Who's the king of the jungle? That's what I sing at Grace Christian School. And the kids go, ooh, ooh. Who's the king of the sea? Bubble, bubble, bubble. Who's the king of the universe?
That's
Who's
why you like the
king of
Jungle
me?
Primary.
His name is Jesu. Yeah, okay. So I'm channeling missing my Fridays over the summer. I don't have chapel until school starts back up. Had a great time. Have a great time. We sing goofy songs. The kids love them. They eat it up.
Oh, that's fun.
You know what's funny is I've been doing that for so long. It's like there were some kids who were like 10 years old, and now they're 35 years old, and they have kids, and their kids are at Grace, and they come back as parents singing the same songs they sang as kids. That's really a neat thing when you get to do something as long as that. Yeah, that's fun.
We enjoyed watching our daughter sing her songs either a couple of weeks ago at the recital.
Yeah, that's sweet.
My God is so big and so mighty, that one, and Jesus loves me. She really got into those.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's great. Oh, and thank you for doing the story on the Pineville recognition of the council members. Randy O'Neill, the appointment that served out the 18 months, and Christy Frederick, the 12 years. I had to chuckle. They were more precise on the statement. They said that I'd served 22 years. It was actually 22 years and 8 months.
There you go.
So I just rounded it up to 23, but
well.
technically 22.6, I guess, 22.66 years.
Well, we're going to miss having you there, but it means you have more time for us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you got more time for your friends.
And you're going to be calling in sick more often? Is that what you're saying?
I might just have you do the show and I'll quit.
Get out of town, man.
Stop.
You provide all the content. We're just the window dressing.
Oh, not really. I just kind of sit here. Yeah. It's let's be honest. Okay, you've sat on both sides.
Yeah.
It's harder on this side.
On your side?
Because, if you're talkers like us broadcast people, it's easier to run the board and just dictate the conversation.
That's true.
I'm kind of like the people said something, so I have to end their sentence or give some sort of feedback all the time. It's a more annoying place to be.
Well, let's swap.
No. I don't like doing all the work.
Seriously, I like sitting on that side.
No, you don't.
Throwing in little caveats here and there and bones. So, well, you'll have it You and Al will figure it out. I guess he does it. So
Oh,
I'll be gone for a little while.
He loves it.
All right, let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Yes, Mr. Martin.
Yes, ma'am.
I was talking to you, and I just wanted to tell this joke.
Okay.
That I heard. It's about the Democrats, and this guy in Maine had more skeletons in his closet than the nearest cemetery.
Oh, my goodness.
I think that's a good one. I
That
really
is.
do.
Now you're talking about the guy with the German tattoo.
The
and-
Nazi guy.
Yeah,
the Nazi tattoo guy.
There you go.
Oh, they just keep coming out. And if everybody knew the whole truth, they would just run for the hills.
And yet he ended up getting the prize. And there's a good example. Well, no, it's not a good example.
Well, let me
Yeah,
tell you
he's
something. The dumber the people who vote are, the dumber choices they make. That is a fact.
Why don't you tell us
Look
how
at
you really feel?
California.
Yeah.
There is no doubt. Just ask me.
I love
Y'all
it.
have a blessed day.
You too.
And thank you for what you do. Y'all are just great.
Well, we love hearing from you. Thank you so much for your call. That was wonderful. So let me think. This is on the air live. I'm thinking this through. I don't know if it's going to work, but the main primary with the primary system, the closed primaries, look at the extremists the Democrat have put up. That kind of goes to my point. That's a pretty extreme guy, but I don't know. Who knows? Iran has been attacked again.
So are we saying that? Are they claiming that a closed primary produces the less extreme candidate? Those in favor of a closed
That's
primary?
what I believe. That's what they're saying.
Donald Trump was probably the most extreme candidate in 2016, 2015. Let's be honest. He was the less centrist of them all.
I was a Marco Rubio guy, and I'm still a Marco Rubio
That's not a
guy.
knock on Trump. That's just
Yeah.
like he was the most extreme.
I just don't know if I'm smart enough for this conversation. And there's a phone call coming in. We have no time. I'm so sorry, caller. You can call back tomorrow and talk to Al and Steven and tell them how wrong Nathan was.
Or you could be like the Democrats in 2016 and just rig the system to where the extreme candidate couldn't even have a chance. So.
Well, there you go. How about California right now, Los Angeles, with the crazy votes that came in at the last minute, and all of them also went for a half-cent sales tax. Every one of them. Wow. All right, come back tomorrow. Stephen now will wrap up the
listening
week.
to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL.